Hey there, my name is Nick, and let's talk about the role of information in game theory. We've talked about a few games now, and some classical game theory ideas that you would learn about in a beginner game theory class. My intention, however, is not to emulate a class, but rather to give a foundation for these ideas to be built upon and eventually put into practice. These next videos are going to be about topics that I am personally interested in, and I will be sure to elaborate on core concepts that are needed to understand this new content. The next topic I want to talk about is the role of information gathering and its benefits. It'll also help in future lessons about why the role of information gathering is crucial and also may be worth doing even if it costs you some of the rewards you would have gotten at the end of the game. There is a beginner game that is not necessarily core to game theory, but helps to show a situation where real-life participants may not play in a way that is rational to how we set up the game in game theory. The game is called the Ultimatum game, and it goes a little bit like this. The first player is given $10. Then they can choose to split it however they want with the other participant. This other participant, the receiver, can choose to accept or reject the offer. If they accept, the split goes through, and both of them get the money that was offered. If not, no one gets anything. Let's start this off by thinking purely strategically. Here is the game theory tree, or part of the extensive form of the game. I'm diagramming the options as a discrete range from $0 to $10. At the next step, we can see that the receiver should likely reject on $0 and accept anything else. The lowest number of dollars they can be offered is 0, and anything above that is an accept. What does the optimal strategy look like? Let's say we are the receiver. Seems like we should always accept. Remember, if you're the receiver, you're not losing any money in this game, only gaining. But on the other hand, it may be apparent why game theory might not be 100% accurate here. What would people do in real life if they were offered less than a 50% split? What would you do if you received less than a 50% split? Well, according to a paper in 2004, the answer is not that 0% of the people would accept this offer. In fact, it changes from country to country. Per page 184 of Cultural Differences in Ultimatum Game Experiments, evidence from a meta-analysis by these authors here. Asian responders have significantly higher rejection rates than responders in the US, and responders in the western part of the US have lower rejection rates than the responders in the eastern part of the US. We can see that there are some differences in how people react to unfair splits. There are some caveats, however. This study only covered 75 participants, with as little as 1 per area, and 28 in the case of the US. However, out of all of them, there is a mean rejection rate around 30%, and those numbers are statistically significant. It would be reasonable to assume that this new strategy of splitting evenly would have better results. Maybe we're just better off always offering 50%. So how does this relate to the role of information in these different games? More specifically, where is the hidden information? Well, let's picture something new about the game. Something random that we don't know about that happens before the game begins. Right before the game begins, a person is chosen who would either accept any non-zero amount, or a person would accept only an even split or better, and a separate person notes down what that preference is. Okay, that doesn't look much different. We connected the two games by a join. What are we supposed to expect now? Well, here's something in the notation that you should know. That circle at the top, where the two arrows join, that's a symbol indicating hidden information. But what are we going to do? We haven't seen... Oh, what about the previous video with mixed strategies? Maybe we can borrow something from there. Yup, back to probabilities again. We'll mark Q as the chance that someone accepts any non-zero amount, and 1 minus Q as the chance that someone accepts only a fair trade or better. Great. We have a new look at what this could mean. Seems like roughly anything of more than a 55% chance should make us gravitate towards offering a small amount. Otherwise, we offer a split. However, what if we were able to get perfect information by being able to spend money? How much should we spend? And at what percentage chances should we spend that money? If we have perfect information, we could choose freely between offering $1 and offering 5, and get the benefits of either choice. We wouldn't have to worry about whether or not we breach the 55% chance mixed strategy that offering $1 is better. Before the game begins, the person who noted the preference of the receiver decides to say that they want to sell us that information. This person wants to know how much money they can make off of us if we were to accept their offer. So let's say that each of these incentives is reduced by Y dollars, where Y is the amount we spend to get perfect information. The equation looks something like this. Let's plot these in a graphical format, and let's assume that the equation is always better than the previous ones we had, which has yet to be proved or disproved. We can see two lines here, and the green area is both below blue and over red, which corresponds with the inequalities that we have above. The entire green triangle has the amount we should pay on the x-axis, and the percentage chance that someone would accept a single dollar is the range that the triangle covers vertically. When isolated, we see at the left side of the triangle that we pay 0 if Q is anywhere between 0 and 1. That makes sense. When there's nothing much to be gained, there's no reason to spend. We don't know what the chances of going for $9 is and only offering 1. Going with the safe option makes the most sense here, and splitting evenly. However, when there is a chance that you could go for the big $9 payout, knowing that decision for sure is worth the money it costs. When riding the fence between a beneficial payout for offering 1 or offering 5, it's worth about $2 to know, in this situation, where you really stand. At the highest integer value we'd pay for, Q is between 50 and 60%. Knowing the exact knowledge of the world you're in right now, whether it be a world where you're talking to someone who will take any money, or a world where they will reject your offer if you don't at least split. In this situation, that $2 amounts to more than 20% of your possible incentives, at the time that it really counts. Thanks for watching. I hope that you understood the message of the video, which is that information in hidden information games is sometimes worth paying part of your rewards for, to be able to learn and do better at choosing your strategy. In the next video, we'll cover something that I'm very eager to talk about. Something that I've developed on my own that I like to call game theory proofs. And, of course, the strategies that come along with knowing how these proofs work.